My name is Marcela Bovio. I was born and raised in Monterrey, Mexico, but I've been living in Holland for almost 8 years now. I first came here like 12 years ago. I had the privilege to be able to record in an album of a very famous prog rock musician called Arjen Lucassen, and that collaboration well, basically got a lot of things started in my life, and now I live here. I've had the chance to do a lot of really cool things with a lot of different bands and play in a lot of really wonderful stages all around the world. And I've been focused mostly in the heavier rock, kind of like prog, symphonic, metal scenes. And I love it. I love it. Metal is amazing because it doesn't have to comply with any rules, you know. You can just do anything you want. You can be loud, you can be aggressive, you can be very emotional, you can be very dramatic, you can be totally over the top. Everything goes. And that's why I like it so much. It's a way to just, you know, let all your emotion out and be and express everything that you have inside without compromising.
Wait, breathe me in. Look for me. We all want to be.
So I had been thinking of the idea of making a solo album for quite a while. As you may know, I've been making music with a band, Stream of Passion, for the past 10 years, and I've been thinking about it for the longest time. But I never really, I could never really figure out what to do, because there are so many things that I like. So at some point, I asked Joost van den Broek, who is a really good friend of mine and also the producer of the last Stream of Passion albums, to come over, and we were just sitting back there in the couch, and we had dinner, and I asked him to brainstorm with me, you know, what would be something cool to do. And so we were talking about all these many things, and I told him, I really like prog, I really like this, I really like this. And at some point, I think we're talking, and he said, like, okay, why don't you start by, you know, instead of thinking of a genre, thinking of what kind of instruments, what kind of ensemble you would like to have. And from then on, at some point, we came up with the idea of why not a string quartet. And as soon as we came up with that, I got immediately excited, because I thought, well, you know, I play the violin a little bit as well. So I thought, like, yeah, I could definitely, you know, write some arrangements for a quartet. You know, my background is also a little bit in the classical music, so I don't know, it just made sense, and I immediately got very excited about it, about the idea of doing something like this. And so I said, yes, let's do it. And I started working right away on writing songs. So I'm on my way to Sand Lane Studios to listen to the mix of the album. It's very exciting. It was so much hard work, and it's always so nice to hear everything coming together and see how the final product, you know, starts to become what it should be. This is the most boring village in the Netherlands, Rijen. It was officially chosen as the most boring place in the country, and it so happens to be where Stanley Studios is located. I'd say that's quite rock and roll, but yeah.
Well, after we made all the basic arrangement and pre-productions in the sessions we did, I think we did about 11 demos, pre-productions like that. We started thinking, okay, who is going to be able to do it? When can we do it, and what's needed to be able to record it like this? Well, of course, it needed to be scored on music sheets, right? And so the musicians we were going to work with could read it, study it. That's also where Marcela got involved in finale and did actually all the scoring herself. Well, actually she did a great job, especially being the first time she did it for a string quartet like that, with a new software, new program. Of course, everyone knows she's a little bit of this computer nerd, so I already thought she was going to be able to do it.
So of course, when all the songs were ready, when all the lyrics were ready, it was time for me to look for a group of musicians to work with. I think I pretty much knew it from the beginning that one of the best options that I would have would be to work with the Dudok Quartet from Amsterdam. I'm really excited that they agreed to be part of this project with me, because they are really amazing. You know, when we started rehearsing, it was very clear that they were gonna lift everything to such a much higher level. They are so good, and they can really get into the detail of the songs, the dynamics, but also the quality of the sound that they want for each part, you know. And then we discuss this together, and they could really work on that as a group and really like match their sound to each other, the way that they're playing. So suddenly I had like so many options, you know, for the different parts, which was really amazing. They did an amazing job. So right now I'm going to be rehearsing with Eric there, who's getting ready in the background. We are going through the songs, but with piano and vocals, because we're going to do some shows later in the year, like this, with piano and vocals. A little bit different, but also really, really cool.
The goal was to record it all live, both strings and vocals. So that's not very common in the studio business today. With doing it in this way, of course, we took a big risk in, okay, is this going to be good enough? And okay, when someone makes a mistake, we have to do it over again. But that created a kind of interesting pressure at the same time that everyone in the room got really focused on getting the right take.
You know, with such an ensemble, it's so more important for it to be about the moment and not so much about making everything like ultra perfect. So I really love it that there's still little mistakes, the little things that you hear throughout the songs, because that's what happened at the moment, you know. That's it's very real. So
Join the dance. Don't you believe them? Their work is based on lies, common illusions, hugging the man in the sky. But I'll go further, go beyond the veil, draw the corners of the
And we did about 3, sometimes 4 takes per song. And then we listened back, and most of the time the second or third was actually the take we took. And well, that was it. Actually, you couldn't do much more about it. I mean, we of course we recorded it in Pro Tools, but we also could have been recording on tape. There was no editing or whatsoever involved, and I think that's also what makes this project very authentic and characteristic, because it is what it is.
it was very intense, but also a lot of fun, and I'm very happy with how everything turned out.